Political fiction. 12 languages. Aristophanes. Plato. Thomas More. Jan Karkanowski. Not to be confused with legal fiction. Political fiction employs narrative to comment on political events, systems and theories. Works of political fiction, such as political novels, often directly criticize an existing society or present an alternative, even fantastic, reality. 1. The political novel overlaps with the social novel, proletarian novel, and social science fiction. Plato's Republic, a Socratic dialogue written around 380 BC, has been one of the world's most influential works of philosophy and political theory, both intellectually and historically. 2. 3. The Republic is concerned with justice, the order and character of the just city-state, and the just man. 4. Other influential politically themed works include Thomas More's Utopia, 1516, Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels, 1726, Voltaire's Candide, 1759, and Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin, 1852. Political fiction frequently employs satire, often in the utopian and dystopian genres. This includes totalitarian dystopias of the early 20th century such as Jack London's The Iron Heel, Sinclair Lewis' It Can't Happen Here, and George Orwell's 1984. Political satire, edit. The Greek playwright Aristophanes' plays are known for their political and social satire. 5. Particularly in his criticism of the powerful Athenian general, Cleon, in plays such as The Knights. Aristophanes is also notable for the persecution he underwent. 5, 6, 7, 8. Aristophanes' plays turned upon images of filth and disease. 9. His bawdy style was adopted by Greek dramatist comedian Menander, whose early play, Drunkenness, contains an attack on the politician, Corlymedon. Jonathan Swift's A Modest Proposal, 1729, is an 18th-century Juvenalian satirical essay in which he suggests that the impoverished Irish might ease their economic troubles by selling their children as food for rich gentlemen and ladies. The satirical hyperbole mocks heartless attitudes towards the poor, as well as British policy toward the Irish in general. George Orwell's Animal Farm, 1945, is an allegorical and dystopian novella which satirizes the Russian Revolution of 1917 and the Soviet Union's Stalinist era. 10. Orwell, A Democratic Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Miguel de Cervantes. Jonathan Swift. Voltaire. Ignacy Krasicki. Socialist. 11, was a critic of Joseph Stalin and was hostile to Moscow-directed Stalinism, an attitude that had been shaped by his experiences during the Spanish Civil War. 12. The Soviet Union, he believed, had become a brutal dictatorship, built upon a cult of personality and enforced by a reign of terror. Orwell described his Animal Farm as a satirical tale against Stalin. 13, and in his essay Why I Write, 1946, he wrote that Animal Farm was the first book in which he tried, with full consciousness of what he was doing, to fuse political purpose and artistic purpose into one whole. Orwell's most famous work, however, is 1984, published in 1949, many of whose terms and concepts, such as Big Brother, doublethink, Doubt Crime, Newspeak, Room 101 Telescreen, 2 + 2 = 5, and Memory Hole, have entered into common use. 1984 popularized the adjective Orwellian, which describes official deception, secret surveillance, and manipulation of recorded history by a totalitarian or authoritarian state. 14. 16th century novel, edit. The poet Jan Karkonowiski's play The Dismissal of the Greek Envoys, 1578, the first tragedy written in the Polish language, recounts an incident leading up to the Trojan War. Its theme of the responsibilities of statesmanship resonates to the present day. 15. The book Utopia, 1516, written by Sir Thomas More, talk about a story of a different world compared to the one they live in. The character Thomas More is sent by King Henry VIII of England to negotiate the English wool trade. There he meets a man by the name Raphael Hythlody. He is a man that has been to the island on Utopia. He explains to More how their entire philosophy is to find happiness and share everything collectively, in this society. Money does not exist, which starkly contrasts with the ascendant commercial empires in Thomas More's Europe. 16, 17. 18th century novel, edit. The political comedy The Return of the Deputy, 1790, by Julian Ursin Niemakiewicz, Polish poet, playwright, statesman, and comrade in arms of Tadeusz Kosciuszko, was written in about 2 weeks' time while Niemakiewicz was serving as a deputy to the historic 4-year Sejm of 1788. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Julian Ursin Niemakiewicz, Harriet Beecher Stowe, Charles Dickens, Ivan Turgenev, Leo Tolstoy. 92 The comedy's premiere in January 1791 was an enormous success, sparking widespread debate, royal communiques, and diplomatic correspondence. As Niemakiewicz had hoped, it set the stage for passage of Poland's epochal Constitution of 3 May 1791, which is regarded as Europe's first, and the world's second, modern written national constitution, after the United States Constitution, implemented in 1789. The comedy pits proponents against opponents of political reforms, of abolishing the destabilizing free election of Poland's kings, of abolishing the legislatively destructive liberum veto, of granting greater rights to peasants and townspeople, of curbing the privileges of the mostly self-interested noble class, and of promoting a more active Polish role in international affairs, in the interest of stopping the depredations of Poland's neighbors, Russia, Prussia, and Austria, who will in 1795 complete the dismemberment of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Romantic interest is provided by a rivalry between a reformer and a conservative for a young lady's hand, which is won by the proponent of reforms. 18. 19th century novel, edit. An early example of the political novel is The Betrothed, 1827, by Alessandro Manzoni, an Italian historical novel. Set in northern Italy in 1628, during the oppressive years of direct Spanish rule, it has been seen sometimes as a veiled Attack on the Austrian Empire, which controlled Italy at the time the novel was written. It has been called the most famous and widely read novel in the Italian language. 19. In the 1840s, British politician Benjamin Disraeli wrote a trilogy of novels with political themes. With Coningsby, or The New Generation, 1844, Disraeli, in historian Robert Blake's view, infused the novel genre with political sensibility, espousing the belief that England's future as a world power depended not on the complacent old guard, but on youthful, idealistic politicians. 20. Coningsby was followed by Sybil, or The Two Nations, 1845, another political novel, which was less idealistic and more clear-eyed than Coningsby. The Two Nations of its subtitle referred to the huge economic and social gap between the privileged few and the deprived working classes. The last of Disraeli's political novel trilogy, Tancred, or The New Crusade, 1847, promoted the Church of England's role in reviving Britain's flagging spirituality. 20. Ivan Turgenev wrote Fathers and Sons, 1862, as a response to the growing cultural schism that he saw between Russia's liberals of the 1830s and 1840s, and the growing Russian nihilist movement among their sons. Both the nihilists and the 1830s liberals sought explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Boleslaw. Press. Edward. Bellamy. Joseph. Conrad. John. Steinbeck. George. Orwell. Western-based social change in Russia. Additionally, these two modes of thought were contrasted with the Slavophiles, who believed that Russia's path lay in its traditional spirituality. Turgenev's novel was responsible for popularizing the use of the term nihilism, which became widely used after the novel was published. 21. The Polish writer Boleslaw Prus' novel, Pharaoh, 1895, is set in the Egypt of 1087–85 BCE as that country experiences internal stresses and external threats that will culminate in the fall of its 20th dynasty and new kingdom. The young protagonist Ramses learns that those who would challenge the powers that be are vulnerable to co-option, seduction, subornation, defamation, intimidation, and assassination. Perhaps the chief lesson, belatedly absorbed by Ramses as Pharaoh, is the importance, to power, of knowledge. Prus' vision of the fall of an ancient civilization derives some of its power from the author's intimate awareness of the final demise of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth in 1795, a century before he completed Pharaoh. This is a political awareness that Prus shared with his 10 years junior novelist compatriot, Joseph Conrad, who was an admirer of Prus' writings. Pharaoh has been translated into 23 languages and adapted as a 1966 Polish feature film. 22. It is also known to have been Joseph Stalin's favorite book. 23. 20th century novel, edit. Joseph Conrad wrote several novels with political themes: Nostromo, 1904, The Secret Agent, 1907, and Under Western Eyes, 1911. Nostromo, 1904, is set amid political upheaval in the fictitious South American country of Costaguana, where a trusted Italian-descended longshoreman, Giovanni Battista Fidanza, the Novel's eponymous Nostromo, Italian for our man, is instructed by English descended silver mine owner Charles Gould to take Gould's silver abroad so that it will not fall into the hands of revolutionaries. 24. The role of politics is paramount. In The Secret Agent, as the main character, Verloc works for a quasi-political organization. The plot to destroy Greenwich Observatory is in itself anarchistic. Vladimir asserts that the bombing must be purely destructive and that the anarchists who will be implicated as the architects of the explosion should make it clear that they are perfectly determined to make a clean sweep of the whole social creation. 25. However, the political form of anarchism is ultimately controlled in the novel. The only supposed politically motivated act is orchestrated by a secret government agency. Conrad's third political novel, Under Western Eyes, is connected to Russian history. Its first audience read it against the backdrop of the failed revolution of 1905 and in the shadow of the movements and impulses that would take shape as the revolutions of 1917. 26. Conrad's earlier novella, Heart of Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Darkness, 1899, also had political implications, in its depiction of European colonial depredations in Africa, which Conrad witnessed during his employ in the Belgian Congo. 27. John Steinbeck's novel The Grapes of Wrath, 1939, is a depiction of the plight of the poor. However, some Steinbeck's contemporaries attacked his social and political views. Brian Cordick writes, Steinbeck was attacked as a propagandist and a socialist from both the left and the right of the political spectrum. The most fervent of these attacks came from the Associated Farmers of California. They were displeased with the book's depiction of California farmers' attitudes and conduct toward the migrants. They denounced the book as a pack of lies and labeled it communist propaganda. 28. Some accused Steinbeck of exaggerating camp conditions to make a political point. Steinbeck had visited the camps well before publication of the novel, 29, and argued that their inhumane nature destroyed the settlers' spirit. The Quiet American, 1955, by English novelist Graham Greene questions the foundations of growing American involvement in Vietnam in the 1950s. The novel has received much attention due to its prediction of the outcome of the Vietnam War and subsequent American foreign policy since the 1950s. Graham Greene portrays a U.S. official named Pyle as so blinded by American exceptionalism that he cannot see the calamities he brings upon the Vietnamese. The book uses Greene's experiences as a war correspondent for The Times and Le Figaro in French Indochina in 1951-54. 30. The Gay Place, 1961, is a set of politically themed novellas with interlocking plots and characters. By American author Billy Lee Brammer. Set in an unnamed state identical to Texas, each novella has a different protagonist: Roy Sherwood, a member of the state legislature, Neil Christiansen, the state's junior senator, and Jay McGowan, the governor's speechwriter. The governor himself, Arthur Fenstermaker, a master politician, said to have been based on Brammer's mentor Lyndon Johnson, 31, serves as the dominant figure throughout. The book also includes characters based on Brammer, his wife Nadine, 32, Johnson's wife Ladybird, and his brother Sam Houston Johnson. 31. The book has been widely acclaimed one of the best American political novels ever written. 33, 34, 35. 21st Century Novel, edit. Since 2000, there has been a surge of transatlantic migrant literature in French, Spanish, and English, with new narratives about political topics relating to global debt, labor abuses, mass migration, and environmental crises in the global South. 36. Political fiction by contemporary novelists from the Caribbean, Sub-Saharan Africa, and Latin America directly challenges political leadership, systemic racism, and economical systems. 36. Fata Diam, a Senegalese immigrant living France since the 1990s, writes political fiction about her experiences on France's unwelcoming borders that are dominated by white Christian culture. 37. The work of Guadeloupean. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Author Maris Kandi also tackles colonialism and oppression. Her best-known titles are Sega 1984 and Sega 2, 1985. Set in historical Sega, now part of Mali, the novels examine the violent legacies of the slave trade, Islam, Christianity, and colonization, from 1797 to 1860. 38, 39. A bold critic of the presidency of Nicolas Sarkozy, French novelist Marine Diaz won the Prix Goncourt for Three Strong Women, 2009, about patriarchal control. 40. Proletarian novel, edit. The proletarian novel is written by workers, mainly for other workers. It overlaps and sometimes is synonymous with the working class novel. 41. Socialist novel. 42. Social problem novel, also problem novel, sociological novel, or social novel. 43. Propaganda or thesis novel. 44. And socialist realism novel. The intention of the writers of proletarian literature is to lift the workers from the slums by inspiring them to embrace the possibilities of social change or of a political revolution. As such, it is a form of political fiction. The proletarian novel may comment on political events, systems, and theories, and is frequently seen as an instrument to promote social reform or political revolution among the working classes. Proletarian literature is created especially by communist, socialist, and anarchist authors. It is about the lives of the poor, and the period from 1930 to 1945, in particular, produced many such novels. However, proletarian works were also produced before and after those dates. In Britain, the terms working class literature, novel, etc., are more generally used. Social novel, edit. A closely related type of novel, which frequently has a political dimension, is the social novel, also known as the social problem or social protest novel, a work of fiction in which a prevailing social problem, such as gender, race, or class prejudice, is dramatized through its effect on the characters of a novel. 45. More specific examples of social problems that are addressed in such works include poverty, conditions in factories and mines, the plight of child labor, violence against women, rising criminality, and epidemics caused by overcrowding and poor sanitation in cities. 46. Charles Dickens was a fierce critic of the poverty and social stratification of Victorian society. Carl Marx asserted that Dickens issued to the world more political and social truths than have been uttered by all the professional politicians, publicists and moralists put together. 47. On the other hand, George Orwell, in his essay on Dickens, wrote, "There is no clear sign that he wants the existing order to be overthrown, or that he believes it would make very much difference if it were overthrown. For in reality his target is not so much society as human nature." 48. Dickens's second novel, Oliver Twist, 1839, shocked readers with its images of poverty and crime. It destroyed middle-class polemics about criminals, making any pretense to ignorance about what. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Poverty entailed impossible. 49. 50. Charles Dickens's Hard Times, 1854, is set in a small Midlands industrial town and particularly criticizes the effect of utilitarianism on the lives of cities' working classes. John Ruskin declared Hard Times his favorite Dickens work due to its exploration of important social questions. Walter Allen characterized Hard Times as an unsurpassed critique of industrial society. Notable examples, edit. Other notable examples are in the main lists, above. Pangshatantra, ca. 200 BCE, by Vishnu Sommer. Don Quixote, 1605, by Miguel de Cervantes. Simplicius Simplicissimus, 1668, by Hans Jacob Christoffel von Grimmel-Schorzen. The Pilgrim's Progress, 1678, by John Bunyan. Persian Letters, 1721, by Montesquieu. The History and Adventures of an Atom, 1769, by Tobias Smollett. Fables and Parables, 1779, by Ignacy Krasicki. The Partisan Leader, 1836, by Nathaniel Beverly Tucker. Barnaby Rudge, 1841, by Charles Dickens. A Tale of Two Cities, 1859, by Charles Dickens. What is to be Done? 1863, by Nikolai Chernyshevsky. The Palliser Novels, 1864-1879, by Anthony Trollope. War and Peace, 1869, by Leo Tolstoy. The History of a Town, 1870, by Mikhail Saltykov-Shchedrin. Demons, also known as the Possessed or the Devils, 1872, by Fyodor Dostoevsky. The Gilded Age, 1876, by Mark Twain and Charles Dudley Warner. Democracy, an American Novel, 1880, by Henry Adams. The Princess Casamassima, 1886, by Henry James. The Bostonians, 1886, by Henry James. Resurrection, 1899, by Leo Tolstoy. Nekwa or the Problem of the Ages, 1900, Jack Adams. The Old New Land, 1902, by Theodore Herz. Mother, 1906, by Maxim Gorky. The Jungle, 1906, by Upton Sinclair. Petersburg, 1913, by Andrei Billy. The Ragged-Trousered Philanthropists, 1914, by Robert Tressel. Der Unterton, 1914, by Heinrich Mann. The Trial, 1925, by Franz Kafka. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. The Castle, 1926, by Franz Kafka. The Foundation Pit, 1930, by Andrei Platonov. The Career of Nicodemus Disma, 1932, by Tadeusz Dolegomostowicz. Man's Fate, 1933, by Andrzej Malraux. Fontamara, 1933, by Ignacio Silone. It Can't Happen Here, 1935, by Sinclair Lewis. Darkness at Noon, 1940, by Arthur Koestler. Walden 2, 1948, by B. F. Skinner. Dark Green, Bright Red, 1950, by Gore Vidal. Atlas Shrugged, 1957, by Ayn Rand. The Matrian Candidate, 1959, by Richard Condon. The Comedians, 1966, by Graham Greene. Cancer Ward, 1967, by Alexand Solzhenitsyn. Washington, D.C. 1967, by Gore Vidal. 1973, by Gore Vidal. The Chocolate War, 1974, by Robert Cormier. Gorillas, 1975, by V.S. Sniper. Ragtime, 1975, by E.L. Doctorow. 1876, 1976, by Gore Vidal. Vinland, 1990, by Thomas Pynchon. From the Fatherland with Love, 2005, by Ryu Murakami. Occupied, 2015, The Little Voice, 2016, Money Power Love, 2017, by Joss Sheldon. Science Fiction, edit. Brave New World, 1932, by Aldous Huxley. War with the Newts, 1936, by Aldous Huxley. Starship Troopers, 1959, by Robert A. Heinlein. The Dispossessed, An Ambiguous Utopia, 1974, by Ursula K. Le Guin. The Mars Trilogy, 1990s, by Kim Stanley Robinson. See also, edit. Augustan Literature. Political Cartoon. Political Satire. Political Poetry. Proletarian Literature. Notes, edit. 1 Hist 294, Political Fiction, Wesleyan University, accessed 12 December 2005. Archived. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. 16 September 2006, at the Wayback Machine. 2 National Public Radio, 8 August 2007. Plato's Republic still influential, author says. Talk of the Nation. 3 Plato, The Republic. Plato, His Philosophy and His Life, aphilosophers.com. 4 Brick House, Thomas and Smith, Nicholas D. Plato, c. 427347 BC, The Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy, University of Tennessee, compare. Dating Plato's Dialogues. 5 A. B. Sutton, D.F., 1993, Ancient Comedy, The War of the Generations, New York, p. 56. 6 Bates, Alfred, ed. 1906, Political and Social Satires of Aristophanes, The Drama, Its History. Literature and Influence on Civilization, Volume 2, London, Historical Publishing, pp. 55-59. 7 Atkinson, J. 1992, Curbing the Comedians, Clean vs. Aristophanes and Syracuseus Decree. The Classical Quarterly, New, 42, 156-64, do. 10.1017/S00098388000425880, JSTOR 639144. S2 SID 1709364669. 8 Anderson, John Louis, Aristophanes, The Michael Moore of His Day, archived from the original on the 19th of October, 2006. 9 Wilson 2002, p. 17. 10 BBC, GCSE English Literature, Animal Farm, Historical Context, pt 1/3. bbc.co.uk. 11 Orwell, George. Why I Write, 1936, The Collected Essays, Journalism and Letters of George Orwell Volume 1. An Age Like This 1945-1950 p. 23, Penguin. 12 Gordon Bowker, Orwell p. 224, Orwell, writing in his review of Franz Borkenaur's The Spanish Cockpit. In Time and Tide, the 31st of July 1937, and Spilling the Spanish Beans, New English Weekly, the 29th of July 1937. 13 Davison 2000. 14 The Oxford Companion to English Literature, 6th edition. University of Oxford Press, 2000. p. 726. 15 Stefan Kiernewicz, ed., Warsaw W. Latak 1526-1795, Warsaw in the years 1526-1795, Volume 2. Warsaw, 1984, ISBN 83-01-03323-1, pp. 15758. 16 Utopia by Sid Thomas More. Lit Charts. Retrieved 17 March 2022. 17 Best Books of the 16th Century, 185 books. www.goodreads.com. Retrieved 17 March 2022. 18 Zdzislaw Skorczyński, Step, Introduction, to Julian Ursin Niemakiewicz, Power Posler, The Return of the Deputy, Reclaw, Ossolineum, 1983. 19 Archibald Cahoon. Manzoni and His Times. J. M. Dent and Sons, London, 1954. 20 A. B. Benjamin Disraeli 1804-1881, 19th Century Literary Criticism, eNotes, Access 25. August 2013. 21 Nihilismus, PDF. Johannes Kepler University. Retrieved 24 September 2013. 22 Christopher Kasperek, Prospero and Curtains Translation, The Polish Review, Volume XXXI, Numbers 2-3, 1986, p. 129. 23 Christopher Kasperek, Prospero and Curtains Translation, p. 128. 24 Joseph Conrad, Nostromo, 1904. 25 Conrad, Joseph, 1993, The Secret Agent, London, Penguin, p. 35. 26 Norman Sherry, ed. 1973. Conrad, The Critical Heritage. London, Routledge and Kegan Paul. p. 234. 27 The Norton Anthology, 7th edition, 2000, p. 1957. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. 28 Cordic, Brian. 20th Century American Bestsellers, John Steinbeck, The Grapes of Wrath. Graduate School of Library and Information Science, University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. Retrieved the 18th of February, 2007. 29 Shilling Law, Susan, Benson, Jackson J., the 2nd of February, 2002. Of Men and Their Making, the Non-Fiction of John Steinbeck. London, Penguin. Retrieved the 17th of December, 2008. Cite Journal. Cite Journal requires journal equals, help. 30 Andrew J. Basavike, Best Intentions, An Appreciation of Graham Greene. World Affairs, 1, Usurped. 31 A. B. Finch, Charlie, the 8th of February, 2011. The Gay Place. ArtNet. Retrieved the 12th of July, 2012. 32 Salomon, Jeff, the 29th of March, 2009. Nadine Eckhart Makes Her Own Gay Place. Austin American. Statesman. Retrieved the 14th of July, 2012. 33 Learman, Christopher, October-November 2005. Why Americans Can't Write Political Fiction. Washington Monthly. Retrieved the 24th of July, 2012. 34 Reinert, Al, February 1979. Billy Lee. Texas Monthly. Retrieved the 11th of July, 2012. 35 Reed, Jan, March 2001. Return to the Gay Place. Texas Monthly. Retrieved the 14th of July, 2012. 36 A. B. Perisic, Alexandra, 2019. Precarious Crossings, Immigration, Neoliberalism, and the Atlantic. Columbus. ISBN 978-0-8142-1410-7. OCLC 1096294244. 37 Senegalese migrant novelist Fata Diam is now the militant Marianne by Rosemary Haskell. World Literature Today. 4 October, 2017. Retrieved 14 October, 2020. 38 Bruner, David K. 1977. Mary's Candy, Creative Writer in a Political World. L'Esprit Créateur. 17. 21687173. ISSN 0014-0767. JSTA 26280515. 39 Mary's Candy Biography, Books, and Facts. Encyclopedia Britannica. Retrieved 14 October, 2020. 40 Eberstadt, Fernanda, 10 August, 2012. Hope's Spring Eternal, published 2012. The New York Times. ISSN 0362-4331. Retrieved 14 October, 2020. On Three Strong Women. 41 H. Gustav Claus, The Socialist Novel in Britain, Towards the Recovery of a Tradition. Brighton. Harvester Press, 1982, p. 1. 42 H. Gustav Claus. 43 A Handbook to Literature 7th ed. Upper Saddle River, N.J., Prentice Hall, 1996, p. 487, Social. Problem Novel. Encyclopedia Britannica. Encyclopedia Britannica Online Academic Edition. Encyclopedia Britannica Incorporated, 2012. Web. 2 November, 2012. 2. 44 J. Acudden, Revised C. E. Preston, The Penguin Dictionary of Literary Terms and Literary Theory. London, Penguin, 1999, pp. 704, 913. 45 social problem novel in Encyclopaedia Britannica. Encyclopaedia Britannica Online Academic Edition. Encyclopaedia Britannica Incorporated, 2012. Web. 4 November, 2012. 3. 46 Childers, J.W., 2001. 47 Cusick and Sadov 2006, p. 155. 48 Eliot, George. Charles Dickens. 49 Rayner 1986, p. 25. 50 Bodenheimer 2011, p. 147. Categories: Political fiction, literary genres, political art, political novels. Works about politics. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF.